I'm just looking at the webpage here, and I'm looking at the 2 previous episodes, latest, previous, and I noticed that one of them was called "Apple's Double Agent Exposes Leakers." That's what we were talking about. This guy, it was like an inside guy. He was working for Apple, but then also integrating himself into the leaker community. Mm-hmm. Apparently, we're getting this guy in the show.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to commit to it yet?
We'll try, yeah. I think he's in.
I heard he was receptive. Like, he responded. He heard that we had mentioned him. I got coffee on my shirt. That's brutal. Jeez. Although it is dark roast coffee. Tim Hortons has a dark roast.
Shout out.
And it's got a little more body to it. So it's different than the original. But anyway. Holy, I got it on the microphone too. Jeez. You know what it is? It's these cups. If the seam on the paper cup is close to the mouth, you got to get the seam of the paper cup on the other side, on the back side.
Oh, right.
Because the seam is a weak point. You don't want to be distributing it there.
Yeah, that's terrible. They should really fix that.
Yeah, Tim Hortons, come on, get it together. Anyway, yeah, the double agent. I heard he's coming on. You said he's coming on. We're going to see if it works out.
Sure, yeah.
Exciting times. Mm-hmm. As far as today goes, though, how about this?
Let's have a fun one today.
Willie Doo, bring in the fun. Doritos pays teen $20,000 for a puffy chip she found in her bag.
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute.
That's the chip in question.
Doritos awards Australian teenager $20,000 for a puffy chip. 13-year-old Riley Stewart of Gold Coast, Australia is now $20,000 richer thanks to Doritos. Wait a second. You just wait there a second. Did Doritos not put out a product which was a 3D
They sure did.
You expected me to go here with it.
Called Doritos 3D.
Right.
I think it's probably in the 90s.
Okay.
It looks like a 90s commercial. So, yeah, you have some 3D effects in this commercial with some...
That's Tim Hardaway. That's an NBA player.
Yeah.
He was a great three-point shooter. Mm-hmm. So she finds the chip, and they say they want to use it for marketing purposes.
Yeah, maybe to bring the Doritos 3D back.
Okay, so maybe this person will not be the last to find. Maybe they sprinkle 3D Doritos as a viral marketing thing. People take photos of them. They say, hey, look at my Dorito. It shows up on social media.
Mm-hmm. That's what Doritos maybe are planning. But previously, when they didn't hear about this before, she decided to post it up on eBay, where she got offers of over 100,000.
Wait a second. You just wait a second here, Will.
Yeah.
They offered $20K, but they were outbid?
Yeah.
Stewart posted a TikTok of the puffy chip asking if she should eat it or try to sell it. Supposedly, after listing the chip on eBay, she had offers for the chip up to $100,000. Though the auction site took it down. Why would eBay take it down?
Yeah, I'm curious myself. I mean,
are you not allowed to put a food item over there? I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe you're not allowed to put a food item over there on eBay. Doritos got in touch with her, and then they gave the $20K. They said, hey, we'll use it for marketing. Mm-hmm. You didn't get your 100 G's, but how about this? It's better than nothing. Use it for marketing purposes. Now you're the 20K Dorito girl.
Yeah.
But this is a viral marketing campaign right here, because now what you do, Will, is you have a giant treasure hunt, and everyone goes and buys Doritos looking for the one 3D Dorito, magic Dorito in their bag.
And it would have to be in a pristine condition. It can't be crunched up and say that it was puffy, you know?
This is a huge problem. You know why?
Why?
Somebody's going to try to make that Dorito and say they got it in the bag.
Right, yeah.
How do you know? How can we verify it came out the bag? Mm-hmm. I need a video of you unsealing the bag of Doritos.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more TikToks of that.
All right. Well, congrats to What was her name?
Uh,
Congrats to Riley Stewart from Gold Coast in Australia. That's a nice area, by the way. A lot of nice beaches over there. You could go surfing over there, Will.
Sounds great.
A guy like you have a blast over there.
Yeah.
Tesla had their big AI day.
Did you see it?
3 hours, a 3-hour presentation. What is the view count there? It's chopped off for me ever so slightly.
It's 1.1 million.
1.1 million, streamed live, August 19, 2021. No, the only thing that I saw come out of it was the robot dude.
Did you see the actual robot?
I mean, I saw a photo of it.
Oh, okay. So you haven't seen it dance.
I have not seen the dance, nothing.
Cool.
We have live react here.
This is a nice, amazing engineering from the Tesla team. They did something that was truly amazing here.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, but okay.
I mean, yeah, that's the robot itself.
Yeah.
But they actually brought it in on stage to meet Elon.
So this is the photo I saw. This is very humanoid.
And it's coming up on stage. Look at that.
That's not a robot. That's a person, man. Come on, dude. What is this stunt? All right.
Amazing feat of engineering here.
So what was their angle here? That it's funny that we keep watching the Boston Dynamics robots dance, and so they're like, let's make it dance. Take a shot at them, or what?
Maybe, yeah. Well, obviously there isn't a physical robot that
right.
they can show, so they just Elon's humor decided to just dress someone up as a robot and have them dance.
Tesla's events are always feel so low budget.
Yeah, but that's what makes it fun, right?
Forever,
you have
though?
The richest guy in the world, and then you have this weird off-put stage.
Forever though?
I don't mind it.
See, that's my thing. Is sometimes that cute kind of thing wears off. We've talked about this already. The same thing goes with ordering the cars.
Well, the Tesla stage is not bad. They did a pretty good job.
No. I'm just saying a company of that scale compared to the likes of Apple or something like that, where it's so polished and tight.
Yeah.
They have a much more, and hey, it's to each their own. I agree with you to a certain extent. Things can get so polished that they feel they're lacking. There's no human left over. It can't be funny, or everything feels forced. It's fine. I'm just curious if we ever get to that point where
there's more polish.
If they put together presentations that are more similar to the other tech giants that are out there. I'm not saying they have to, or even that they should. I'm just curious if they ever get to that point. So this is the Tesla bot, world built by humans for humans, friendly, eliminates dangerous, repetitive, and boring tasks. It's 5'8", 45-pound carry capacity. 125 pounds is the weight of it. 150-pound deadlift. Speed of 5 miles per hour, and an arm extended lift of 10 pounds. Now, I saw a couple takes on social media, on Twitter. Is he in the camera right now? Yeah.
Hold it. Down.
It's because you got the treats on the table.
I know.
Yeah.
I should give him one.
Anyway, so I saw a couple takes on social media that people saying it's all great. You want to talk about having a bot eventually. But I saw a little bit of frustration around the delivery of cars. A little bit of frustration of, okay, great. How about you just get me the car that I ordered a year ago?
Yeah.
And maybe that's what I'm talking about the romance of the whole thing. Sure. Is like once you interact with it in a more intimate way, or you've been a customer for a long time, your expectations change over time.
For sure.
And the moonshot aspect is still interesting, but you grow to be skeptical about when it actually happens. So, for example, if I was to say to you right now, I'm sounding like a downer right now. I like robots. This stuff is cool. I like it when it's shown off. I even like concepts. But if I were to ask you right now, Will, at what point do we see this robot in real life? At what point do I buy it? At what point is it in this studio? What date do you put on that?
Maybe I would say realistically, 5 years, 5 to 8 years.
You just don't give me no 5 to 8 range. You really want to say 10 years is what you really want to say.
Well, there's just so many innovations within Tesla. Like they're trying to go to space. They're trying to.
Well, that's not Tesla. That's SpaceX. But Elon's ambition.
Like under Elon's sort of leadership, he's trying to build tunnels for cars, and it's like there's so many promises that I feel like AI is just one of those aspects, and it's so hard to pinpoint when are they actually going to be in production for any of it, right? You kind of see snippets of like,
what happens first?
His projects just coming up, but
what happens first out of these two things? Do I get the Tesla bot in the studio, or do I get the Neuralink implant? Which one happens first?
Good question. I think the bot.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, with the brain stuff, doesn't it take a while?
All that brain stuff.
With the AI stuff, they can literally just
there.
build like a Boston Dynamics similar to that. I feel like it might be a little faster. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, it's just, we'll see. We'll see about these bots. I'll get one. How much is he charging for it? Did he say? No.
But,
I mean, they're just, I guess it's just a
couple
vague.
Specs here.
Multicam video neural networks, autopilot cameras, PSD computer, neural net planning, auto labeling, simulation, and tool. I mean, the way they're showing it looks great. It looks more human-like than anything Boston Dynamics has done with the Atlas or, well, obviously with Spot. Spot is on 4 legs. Mm-hmm. So it looks cool, but yeah, it's just concept stuff.
Vaporware.
Hey,
no,
man. Jeez, that's a heavy word, man. Apple is researching a MacBook keyboard that features a removable key to be used as a precision mouse. Key, like on the keyboard key. Mm-hmm. Whoa. That would be cool with a little magnet that slots in there. The patent application, spotted, of course, by Patently Apple, is titled Deployable Key Mouse and was filed with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. It would be a standard MacBook scissor system keyboard with a hidden removable key, and it would contain a position sensor to be used as a pointing device. So literally a tiny mouse.
That's the size of maybe a little bit bigger than a key.
Like a shift key almost.
Yeah.
The size of a shift key.
That's what they're showing right here. It kind of detaches either from the keyboard upwards or from the side.
So it's your cursor, and it has a button, I guess. Probably not 2 buttons. I don't mind it.
There could be gestures.
Touch-based gestures? Like, is it a touchpad as well?
It could be. Yeah. Or like gestures like you're...
You sound like vaporware, Will.
Well, they have a patent. So
the removable key is a viable solution to the issue, according to Apple. In some embodiments, the key would be able to work as normal on the keyboard when it is not deployed, and then feature a small battery. Wow. This one of those things where you feel like they're patenting something that they probably don't intend on making, but they want to have the patent just in case someone else was going to do it. Uh-huh. Apple outlined various mechanical systems to facilitate the removable key, including sliding a single or set of multiple keys out of the housing vertically, as well as a sliding key out from the side of the machine horizontally. I don't really like trackpads that much, so this is kind of a curious one. It gets me going a little bit, but it would probably be so small, it's hard for me to imagine it being comfortable. That's my issue.
Yeah, it can't be probably used for like a regular basis. Maybe something really quick.
You mean you don't want to do any gaming with that mouse?
No, never.
Never. A display window is Apple's unusual solution to hide its selfie camera. A display window.
Mm-hmm. So this is another patent, and when I looked at the image, it was kind of cool. if it can really show it here.
So we're, of course, talking about the under-display camera that is now popularized, I guess, by the new Z Fold 3 or commercially available. Other companies have done it. This is the first one that I've used or had my SIM card in. It's pretty good most of the time, what they have, but their implementation is not perfect. You can still see the cross-hatching thing going on.
It's like a circle now, right? It's not like a square.
It's a circle.
Okay.
It's a circle, but it looks like a screen door almost.
Right, right.
But you can only see it on a light background, full screen light background, which is pretty, that's not happening all the time. And it's better, I would say, or at least for me, it's less of an eye catcher than having the blacked out hole punch. So it's a slight improvement, but you do see this kind of dull indication of where it is. Against a white screen, then you see it even more so. But it's a tiny little cutout that they've fit in there. Now, what's funny on the Z Fold is you also have the front-facing camera on the outside screen that you could use if you really needed to take a selfie. So in their case, they got away with it not needing tremendous performance there because they assume that if you're using that camera, you're going to be doing video conferencing, which it's fine for that.
Right.
But as far as being your main and only selfie camera, that's where the problem kind of arises because you do take a slight quality hit as the technology exists right now.
Yeah.
But in this patent, it looks like Apple is trying to design something completely different to deal with this issue, if they ever get rid of the notch.
Yeah, they were thinking like OLEDs roll, so they can make like a rolling display underneath where the display would fold down and then the camera pops up. It's a weird mechanism.
So it would be kind of like, it would be a bar, so the whole display would roll down a touch, and then there would be a black bar, and the camera would be there, and then it would roll back in front of it?
Something like that. Or it's at the top, it would just kind of like slant down. The top of the display would slant down, like right here.
Oh,
and then the camera would like
get it.
slide in that position.
Imagine having to manufacture, engineer this thing, and keep it thin and all the rest, and make sure that it's robust enough to be used on a frequent basis because it's mechanical, right? You have a mechanical component moving things up and down, and even when we had the pop-up cameras, people were super skeptical long term about how durable they would be.
Yeah, because you have the motors going.
So, I mean, it's a cool idea, but once again, vaporware.
This is your example, though, by the way.
Oh, the whole thing rolls.
It is rolling, but it is at the top.
Well, that one seems a little simpler because you just have
the camera's
doesn't move. One wheel, and the camera doesn't have to move, and then just But how is this better than just the pop-up camera at that point? Like, leave the display and have the camera pop up. I don't know. I don't know which is better, but the pop-up camera was super cool, man. When it to demonstrate and when it originally became a thing. Kind of sucks that it went away.
I know. Yeah. Should bring it back.
So futuristic. Hank Azaria to play Apple CEO Tim Cook in Super Pumped Showtime series.
So they did some sort of Photoshop there.
Of course they did. So this is interesting. I love the name Super Pumped. We're super pumped about it. It's what they always in the events, and they're kind of taking a little shot. I don't know.
Sure, yeah. It could be they're having fun.
Hank Azaria has joined the cast of Super Pumped, Showtime's upcoming anthology series about the rise of Uber. Oh, okay. It's not. It's about startup culture and everybody being super pumped about everything they're working on.
In a way, yeah.
And Apple is just another company that's super pumped all the time. Based on Mike Isaac's best-selling book, Super Pumped, The Battle for Uber. Oh, that's interesting. I maybe should get that book on Audible. Audible is not our sponsor today, but
no,
they support the show, and I'm looking for a new book right now, so I might listen to that one.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I remember I was at some convention right at the beginning of Uber. It was some sort of a tech convention in London. I am not going to remember the name of it right now. But I recall seeing Travis, the founder of Uber, on stage when Uber was not even really a thing yet. And they were contrasting Uber's approach to a competitor that existed in London at the time that was targeting cabs instead of independent drivers. But instead it would be, because the cab culture in London is a whole nother level to it. But anyway, it was super early days, and I remember thinking, wow, this is going to be a big deal. Tech Summit, is that what it was called? I don't remember.
There's
London
a bunch
Tech
here.
Week. I mean, I don't know what the hell it was called. But anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, that was a young Lou moment, early days on YouTube. I was at some convention, but you could tell, I mean, I probably heard the words super pumped during that presentation.
Right.
I'm pretty sure
it was thrown in there quite a few times.
I'm pretty sure they were super pumped.
Does he look like a Tim Cook?
No, not really, but I'm sure they can do it
Yeah.
because they always find a way to do it. So whether it's hair, like just dye his hair gray, and then Tim wears glasses, right? Give him some glasses, and he's a good. I like this guy.
Good, yeah.
I like this guy. So I feel like he can pull it off. That's cool.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. The Pixel 5a overheats. I saw this. I saw a demonstration of this, actually.
Did you?
So apparently it gets toasty, as Scott Scrivens calls it here on Android Police. He says it gets toasty while shooting 4K at 60 FPS. That would be the most demanding video format. Oh yeah, Tech Odyssey. This is the guy's video that I watched on YouTube. Yup, tested it myself on a Pixel 5a, 70 degrees inside in the AC, and on 4K 60 FPS, it just takes a matter of minutes to overheat. This is terrible. And then it's even worse if you're outside, because it's been really hot outside.
Right.
It overheats even faster. And then he took it into an even cooler environment. I think it was 68 degrees, air conditioning, and it was also overheating there. It was just a matter of time that you would have to turn it off and it would have to cool down. Now, this sucks, obviously. The question then becomes, is it hardware or software? Is there some sort of optimization that needs to take place? Is there some sort of a way to improve this? And then how much it matters to people, because obviously 4K 60 is a fairly high-end video recording for your smartphone. I mean, it's going to take up a lot of space.
But there are phones that do it.
Oh, God, yes. There's phones that do 8K, 8K 30.
Yeah.
Plenty of phones do 4K 60. I guess you just want it to be able to do it. You don't care at that point. If the feature is there, you hate hearing that your device is overheating. So we'll probably test it out, because I believe we're working on an actual little bit of a showdown involving that new smartphone, the Pixel 5a, which finally showed up.
Yes, it made it here.
So I'll put a disclaimer in there in that video if I can confirm this on my particular unit as well. It looks like it's been confirmed across a couple of units, and here we can see, compared to certain other models, where the heat warning kicks in. We did some back-to-back testing with our Pixel 5a and a handful of other devices, and we did observe troublingly short 4K 60 recording on the phone compared to other devices. Notably, the Pixel 5 seems to have the same, if not worse, issue. Interesting. So Pixel 5a was 5 minutes and 5 seconds before it cut out with the heat warning. Pixel 5 was 1:31. Pixel 4 was 40 minutes, but that's 30 frames, so that doesn't really matter. That's way less demanding.
40 minutes of shooting? Do you have enough storage for
4K 30. I guess so.
I guess, yeah.
Galaxy S21, 45 minutes before I got bored. Yeah, the S21 can do it, obviously. And OnePlus 9 Pro, 5 minutes before it stopped with no warning. Seems to be a software limit for 4K 60. And those tests were done at 73 degrees, which is, of course, we're talking Fahrenheit. That's not super hot or anything. So, yeah, it's not good. obviously it is not good. It's up to people how important 4K 60 is to them. But when you see a feature, when you see your phone capable of something, the last thing you want is for it to tell you, hey, I'm too hot. Why are you trying to do this thing?
Yeah.
It's not good. Oppo introduces true continuous zoom lens for smartphones. Continuous zoom lens. So it's 3 separate. Oppo
It's one lens.
It's one, but with a bunch of elements.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements. It looks like. Oppo has held a future imaging technology launch event online today to make some camera-related announcements following the reveal of its next-generation under-display selfie camera. This is for an under-display? No, that must be a separate announcement.
That's something else, yeah.
The first announcement, okay, yeah, this graphic is really cool. A telephoto lens with a continuous optical zoom. Unlike periscope telephoto lenses used today, the lens elements move throughout the 85 to 200 millimeter equivalent zoom range.
That's insane.
So this doesn't require digital zoom cropping or artificial sharpening. It's like a literal zoom lens, like the one that I'm talking into right now, which physically moves.
Yep.
Vivo announced a similar product on its Apex 2020 concept phone, but the range was more limited. Oppo isn't saying when it might ship this camera on a commercial device. Well, what I can't tell is the depth necessary for that contraption. It looks like a long, but maybe it's just so minuscule. Oh, it's also a periscope, right? Because you see the mirror. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to put this into a phone. It must be chunky then.
Well, that was my concern, but maybe our interpretation of scale here is way off. That might be far more tiny than we're imagining.
They also announced that they were making like a gimbal system too, which is similar to what the Vivo X60, I believe, which had a gimbal system and it was super stable. So
5-axis optical
yeah,
stabilization, make use of the lens shift and sensor shift technologies. Cool. And then, here we go. Oppo says it allows for 3 times better stabilization than you can achieve with regular OIS, which is also what Vivo says about their gimbal style system they started shipping last year. Yeah, we've played with it. It's buttery smooth, as they say.
pretty nice.
Don't get me started on butter and a variety of other spreads because we already did that today.
Yeah,
An
hour.
We can't go into it again.
Yeah, that's a lot.
This is cool. The best-selling vehicles in the world by country. It's an infographic map, which is one of my favorite things to go over. But also, of course, cars and car popularity is something I'm interested in. And so you can see here, depending on where you live, which car dominates. And we'll start over on the left-hand side. North America is no surprise.
Wait, can I zoom in here?
I feel like you're zoomed. You want to zoom even more? I feel like you're zoomed good enough.
I think we're good.
Yeah,
We
you're
can
good.
move from like country to country or continent to continent.
Why don't we?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Why don't we?
Let's start with Americas.
You know what's interesting? In the Americas here, in the States, it says F-150. And in Canada, it just says F-Series. They don't break it out by which F-Series, which is interesting. But it is the F-150 as well. So, yes, if we're talking about one individual badge, not like a series of cars, F-150 is hugely dominant in North America. You already know it. You just got to drive around a little bit. You drive around a little bit, you see a lot of it. No surprise. Mexico, the Nissan Versa. Wow. And look at that. In Panama, the Toyota Hilux, I think. This truck is famous on YouTube right now for being like this is what you should get, Will. A used Toyota. This is like the truck you cannot destroy. Did you know about this truck?
No.
Actually, I don't even think you can get it, not easily. But by the way, I'm talking about the old one, that one.
This one?
No, the 1989. I know you like the new one. It is cool. But the 1989, the red one there, apparently this thing is indestructible. Did you see this guy's channel?
No.
He tries to break it. He tries to beat the hell out of it. and it just keeps on going. It's so reliable and not overly complicated. You gotta check out the guy's channel. I don't know. I feel like I gotta shout him out now because you know what I mean. I have to shout the guy out, right?
Sure.
Whistle and Diesel, right? Is that the one? Killing. Oh, did Top Gear do that series as well? It looks like they did. There you go. This guy. I feel like so Top Gear tried to beat up this truck, and then what's the name of this channel, Will?
Whistle and Diesel.
I was right. Whistle and Diesel. And so in this video, you'll see.
Oh, is this the guy who was just driving this car on like speed, like bumps?
Trying to kill
on
it.
the road?
Trying to kill it.
Or on the field? Yeah.
Dude,
I think I saw this.
full blast, rattling around. It's not this video. He's just telling you he bought it, I think. And then the follow-up video series of videos is him trying to kill it. The world's most indestructible truck.
Is it this one?
Yeah, durability test. It's nuts.
Right, yeah, I saw this one.
It's nuts, man.
Oh,
Just running into things and look at this. Bang. Anyway, go check out this guy's channel. We don't need to show the whole thing, but yes, incredibly durable Toyota truck, and somehow the #1 best-selling truck in probably the new one in Panama. We can go down through a little bit here through South America. You see the Chevrolet Onix in Brazil. The Toyota truck in Argentina is there as well. Wow, they dominate down there with that truck. And we move across the world. In China, the VW Levita. I didn't know. I'm surprised by that. That it's a VW dominating in China. Kazakhstan's got the Toyota Camry. You can see the Hyundai Accent there in, where am I?
Oh, another
Saudi Arabia.
Lover of the Hilux in Australia.
Australia. Will, I got your attention here, dude. Look at the southern part of Africa. In South Africa, Namibia, you got the Toyota down there too.
Oh, yeah.
And Kenya. Holy cow, we just bought Will a new truck. We're just going to have to import it. That's all.
I like the fact that it's all different. There isn't really like one brand that like dominates all.
No, not at all.
Maybe
Absolutely
except for
not.
Ford in the Americas, but or North America.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's very distributed.
You have some other interesting ones like Volvo, of course, over there in Sweden. And
Yeah.
which one wins in Germany? That's another interesting. Germany is VW Golf, right? By the looks of it. You need to look at the. Yeah, that's Germany, no?
Where?
Infograph. Yeah, VW Golf.
Oh.
And what do we have in the UK? Wow, in the United Kingdom, it's a Ford Fiesta. Oh, look, Tesla won in Norway and the Netherlands. The #1 selling car, the Tesla Model 3 in Norway and the Netherlands. Interesting findings. Another opportunity to go check out a cool post if you're curious yourself.
Yeah.
You won't be able to play Halo Infinite co-op or edit multiplayer maps at launch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just going to launch it as a battle pass. And battle passes for them is every 3 months.
Wait a sec here. Wait a minute here. I can't do co-op out the gate?
No.
Get out of here.
Unfortunately. And they also have the Forge. Do you know what Forge is? It allows you to customize your own maps for multiplayer.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
So that won't come out until 6 months
That's your
after.
Minecraft mode right there.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that one, but the co-op is a big.
Co-op is coming 3 months after launch.
And then I can do story mode with somebody else?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you mean by co-op. Okay, yeah. Well, that would be the one I would want to do. With
or like a horde mode or something.
I would.
Survival.
Oh, no, I want to do story mode co-op with my kids.
Yeah.
That's what I want
So
to do.
that's in like, that's after the launch. That's in 3 months after launch.
So I got to play it first, just solo, taking turns.
Yeah. Which is such a bummer.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But I know they've had trouble getting this game ready to go, so I'll be happy either way. I haven't played Halo in a long time. I actually go try to get the kids interested in it. I was like, there's a new one coming out. Maybe you want to play the old one. And I was like, I'll cook you guys in that game. And they're like, no, you won't. And then I didn't. So
they just picked it up and
I mean, they'll pick up anything. Those guys are, you can't compete with the youth on that stuff, Will. Yeah. You got to understand. Oh, I saw this one. This was a big story. Yeah. OnlyFans to prohibit sexually explicit content beginning in October. This is, such a weird story, obviously, but I kind of get it. And when I saw it, I wasn't as surprised as maybe some other people. They're like, wait a sec, that's how you built your whole thing. How can you possibly do this? But I had remembered, I think it was when Linus had kind of jokingly launched their OnlyFans, like, you won't do it. I don't know if it was like April Fool's type moment. I don't think it was in April. But anyway, whatever it was. And I ended up finding out about their credit card problems, that they have had such a hard time keeping the payment processing companies satisfied because of, chargebacks and just a variety of reasons, a variety of things. And then on top of that, the payment processing companies got nervous to a certain extent over the possibility that people could show up on the site underage or something like that, and that they would be somehow connected to such a thing. And
because you are the content provider, or not the content provider, you're the foundation where the content can be uploaded.
The transaction. I mean, you control the transaction, so you're kind of complicit to a certain extent. I don't know, man. It's all very complex, and I'm sure you could say the same thing about a lot of things. But the point being is that the company is trying to raise a bunch of new money, and my understanding was they were just making a boatload of money, but they're trying to raise more money and become, I don't know, more legitimate. But I don't know. I don't get it, because now it's just Patreon over again. It seems like, for the most part.
Right. And what describes as like a, I don't even want to say the word, but
here listen.
Like attractive, like pictures and video. Like what constitutes that, or what can be described as art in a way?
Well, I think
people can.
No. I think they were saying. I think they were saying nudity is okay, but once it gets into sexual, then it's not. So it's like, that's pretty. You're right. That's a pretty narrow line to walk on.
And it's such a gray area.
Here's the quote from OnlyFans. In order to ensure the long-term sustainability of our platform and to continue to host an inclusive community of creators and fans, we must evolve our content guidelines. In order to open that comment with, in order to ensure the long-term sustainability of our platform, somebody cracked the whip. Somebody said it had to be some kind of ultimatum, like, we're not going to keep doing business with you. Because I'm trying to imagine, what if you used crypto or some other payment processing that was less restrictive? OnlyFans claims more than 2 million creators, who it says have earned more than $5 billion on its platform, and 130 million users. Last year, the site generated $2 billion in sales, and OnlyFans gets a 20% cut. Like, that's the part I can't figure out. But I guess in order to get even bigger than they currently are, and who knows, man, maybe there's some competition that we're unaware of. But for whatever reason, now the company is seeking new investors at a valuation of more than $1 billion and has had difficulty in attracting that, because investors are nervous about a site like OnlyFans. And I guess they just feel like, hey, we got as big as we can possibly get with this angle. And now, in order to keep growing, we have to do or be something different. But I understand why people think that that's it is a big switcheroo, isn't it?
It is,
So people are going to feel certain ways, aren't they? Somehow, Japan is making robotic grandkids for lonely grandparents.
Yeah. I want to hear your take on this, because this could be controversial and it could be taken in many different ways, right? So you're going to take a big gulp of coffee and
The remainder of my dark roast is required.
hopefully describe what's
It's
going
their
on here.
dolls. They're not as intense as those real dolls. These look like regular dolls.
Yeah, just one.
Did you ever see those real looking dolls? I'm not even asking you to do that right now, but
Yeah.
that's a whole YouTube genre
Yeah.
of ones that look human. This one, at least. What? So these grandparents, they don't have grandkids, or they have grandkids, but they don't see them that often.
Yeah, something like that. Or it could just be a complete substitute for, a lack
And
of...
it talks. They're talking to it.
Yes. So it has a little bit of AI built in. It can understand who is talking and recognize facial features and detect that person. So it can also go to sleep if you hold it and rock it. But that's the extent
It's
of it.
funny.
It's not going to cook you dinner or anything.
Hey, man, that's exactly what I need. You know what's funny about this is that we see something like this
Yeah.
and we feel, uncomfortable, right? Because
Yeah.
it's very close to home. Like it's very, you see them holding the child here. But then if we were to simulate the whole thing and you were to play a video game in which you did this, like it's completely normal to play a video game where you're just shooting and killing people all day to escape your... But the minute that... It's a tough... It's weird the way we apply different rules in different scenarios. If it's completely virtual, it's like whatever, make believe, do whatever you want. If it's a movie, watch whatever you want. If it's Twitch that you were showing me earlier with the licking of the microphones that people are doing, it's like, okay, do whatever you want. That's your thing. Okay, go do that. But then it's like, oh, it's a granny playing with a doll. Now that's the weird one. Is it the weird one?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, is it? I mean, I'm not going to say for Japanese culture as a whole, but it does seem like...
You don't have that many babies.
Well, usually the old, the seniors kind of just live alone, right? They live alone and they do things alone. And, this... obviously, there's a reason why it's created, like this doll, right?
Well, for the record... I'm sure there's plenty of Japanese grandparents who do have
disclaimer.
Yeah, their grandkids and they have a wonderful thing going on. But you have a ratio issue, which we've talked about in the past as far as populations are concerned. You certainly have the upside down triangle. You have more old people than young people. So at some point, there's some old person who doesn't interact with young people, mathematically speaking. Not in all cases, but there certainly would be those cases. And then the question becomes, should they have a robotic talking grandchild?
And apparently this company feels like there's a need for it.
Yeah.
Right?
We look at it and we feel, well, wouldn't it be nice if these grandmothers were able to interact with the real thing? We can't help it. Like you're always trying to, in your mind, create the ideal scenario. But in a funny way, not in a funny way, in another way of looking at it, is that alternative even realistic for these people? They're like, whatever their age is, they're 80 years old. It ain't happening. So there's the next best thing. And then I don't want to get in the way of that if it's giving them...
Not hurting anyone.
If it's helping them, I want to get in the way of that. But I think if you're asking me to zoom out, if you're asking me to like look at the big picture stuff, then I think my ideal scenario would not be this. My ideal scenario would be that they wouldn't need the toy or the AI toy robot thing. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's tough. It's a tough call.
It's also because it's a human replacement too. It's
It
like
is,
if it
yeah,
was a
that's-
robot dog, we don't care. We're like, that's whatever.
But if it kind of looks like a human, it has human hair,
It's
and
also
it's affordable.
it's also like what if
You know?
what if you were to do the same thing with all relationships? What if we all
Exactly.
lived
Like,
isolated
where's the line?
and our grandkids and our own friends and family, and if everything was like a robotic because it was easier than physically moving things around, or if it was some kind of a virtual version of it as well, it's still at some point you get that uneasiness because I know myself, I derive tremendous meaning from my interactions with people. Connection and being part of something and having relationships and things like this. So, but yeah, what can you do? Obviously, if there's a demand for it, then some people need it or want it. And $250, what do you think about the price?
I definitely think it's cheap.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
You know, you just got to replace the batteries, and then you're good to go.
Can we hear it talking at all?
I think it
Can we
might
put
be in this video.
Yeah, put a
here.
little audio on that. I'm
いい
just,
ね子抱っこしたの何十年だったわすごい
いいおしゃべりで
よくわかるわね
凝ってない
凝ってるいいね
肩凝ってない
凝ってるよくわかる
Yeah.
わね
I got it. Yeah, I
Sounds
got
like
it.
a kid.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I don't know. They have dolls, like dolls for kids do that stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Dolls for kids, they're talking and crying and they do all that stuff. I don't know, Will.
Who's to say?
Yeah, maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it's fine. Well, I mean, they don't help us with the headline.
No.
When they hit us,
it's
it's the saddest news of the week.
Yeah. This was.
Isn't the saddest news of the week? So, I don't know. Go ahead, Will. Move on to the next one.
Okay.
I'm dead.
Here's some lighter news.
Missouri mayor wants to give every resident $1,000 in Bitcoin.
Here you go.
That's helpful. I'll take it. Where do I got to move to? I got to move to.
Missouri.
Yeah, but which town?
Oh, the town?
Cool
Valley.
Oh, I'm in. Let's go. Cool Valley.
Yeah.
Residents of a little-known Missouri town could become the first in the nation to dole out cryptocurrency to its residents. That dream could become a reality if the mayor of Cool Valley, Jason Stewart, has his way. He has begun to raise funds in order to give the town's 1,500 or so residents a crash course in cryptocurrency by giving them 1,000 in BTC each. I have friends whose lives have been completely changed, like going from working a regular 9-to-5 job to being worth over $80 million.
I know a guy.
Yeah. He adds that most of the capital to fund the project will be donated from several anonymous Bitcoin investors. I have supportive donors who have agreed to match any money that I raise up to several million dollars. Okay, so this is people trying to further the Bitcoin cause, and they want to be embedded in this community in some way. And they're like, $1,000 in Bitcoin to each resident, 1,500 residents. Yeah, we can do that. We got what did he say? His pal's got 80 million.
Yeah.
So
his pal can hook him up.
His pal's got no problem doing such a thing. But
It's
whether or not it becomes transactional, that's my question. If you give people a bunch of Bitcoin, do they immediately start trading in it, or do they just sit there and look at it? Which one do they do?
that's the mayor's goal, is to like give them the opportunity to own Bitcoin and let them learn about it, let them transact with it and see how it goes, or just hold it, invest, whatever.
Just get them involved. Little Bitcoin town, Cool Valley.
Very cool. All right, last one.
A Frogger game show. NBC Universal's Peacock adaptation of Konami's ancient arcade game start streaming in September when you've done it all.
Yeah.
Have you seen it all? What about Frogger in real life, which is just really one of those wipeout games all over again.
It's like an obstacle course.
Were you ever into
humor
these shows where you're jumping and running and falling in the water?
There was one Japanese one was pretty funny.
Well, they started it right before it came to North
Yeah.
America. It was popularized over there.
But then I just kind of tuned out. It was funny for the first couple episodes.
Oh, I was going to say 6 minutes.
No, I was invested for a little bit.
It's because it's just running and jumping.
Yes. It's
We have a trailer here that we're watching. It's cool. I mean, the set is really nice. You got to build this whole elaborate thing. I don't know, man. It's so much. I don't. What am I supposed to watch these days? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be doing, Will?
it's
I'm trying to think if you just made this show and you uploaded it to YouTube, say you funded it, say it was just exactly like this, how many views would it get? Would people tune in every time?
no.
I'm curious.
Unless the course changes quite a bit. And there's like celebrity involvement, bigger budget.
You would need celebrity involvement for it to
Yeah.
get actual views, but somehow they make so much more money on these other streaming services, because their model is different. You pay a subscription fee, and then they distribute they're able to fund these projects with these enormous subscription fees and everything else, so they can. They can make shows like this, and I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people watch it, and that's it. That's all they need for it to be an appeal, because you get a certain number of subscriptions from it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the same could be said for any of these streaming services that approach more ambitious content than we do here on YouTube, because their model is different.
Yeah.
But when you have all these streaming services, though. Like, why am I still watching more YouTube than this stuff? Why?
Right.
That obviously is hard work right there to put that all together. I just can't figure out who it's for.
Yeah. And this loses steam really quickly. I mean, remember Ninja Warrior? Who watches that?
I'm sure somebody watches it.
Somebody, but not everyone.
No, not everyone. I don't know, man. I want to know the numbers. I get really curious about this kind of stuff, because people, we'll just ask our audience. Let us know down in the comments. Is this show exactly what you've been waiting for? Do you need the running? Do you need the jumping? Do you need the swimming? Do you need the Frogger?
You should dress up as the frog, by the way.
Do a whole episode? Does Frogger frog?
Well, the contestants.
Oh!
It would make more sense than like just regular people dress what they want.
Then you would watch.
Definitely. I'm tuning in.
Do they have to jump like frogs too? Do they have to actually change their movements?
Yep.
That's what it takes for you.
Yeah.
What does it take for you out in the...
Or else there's penalties.
Wow. Costume penalties.
Yeah.
Non-frog-like movements. Deduction. What are we talking about?